Hello, Pisces. I wanted to sit down with you today because what I've been seeing in the cards for you lately has been absolutely profound. Something happened in your space, in your home, in your sanctuary, and the energy around it has been heavy and dark. I'm talking about people who came into your life, into your physical space, and they brought something with them that they shouldn't have. They attacked not just your peace, but your actual health, your vitality, your sense of safety. And what's even more disturbing is the intentionality behind it. We're talking about Santa Muerte energy being sent your way, deliberate spiritual attacks, curses, negative intentions wrapped up in smiles and fake friendship. These people betrayed you in ways that cut deep, Pisces, and they thought they could get away with it. But here's what they didn't count on. Here's what they absolutely failed to understand. Karma doesn't miss. The universe doesn't forget. And the moment they walked out of your door thinking they had won, thinking they had destroyed you, everything in their life started crumbling. Everything they tried to take from you boomeranged back to them with 3 times the force. So let me pull these cards and show you exactly what happened, what's happening now, and where this is all leading. The first card I'm drawing here is the Queen of Wands. And honestly, Pisces, this is you. This is who you were before they came in and tried to dim your light. The Queen of Wands represents someone who is confident, who is magnetic, who has built something beautiful in their life. You had your home set up exactly how you wanted it. You had your routines, your peace, your energy flowing in a positive direction. People were drawn to you because you have this natural warmth, this creative fire that makes others feel good just being around you. You're someone who takes care of their space, who puts intention into their environment, who understands that where you live is sacred. The Queen of Wands sits on her throne with a black cat at her feet and sunflowers surrounding her, symbols of intuition and joy. That was your energy, Pisces. You were in your power, maybe not perfect, maybe still healing from past situations, but you were on your way up. You were rebuilding. You were creating, and that's exactly why they targeted you. People who operate in darkness can't stand to see someone in the light. They can't stand to see someone healing, growing, prospering, finding peace. It threatens them on a fundamental level because it reminds them of everything they're not, everything they refuse to become. So they saw you, the Queen of Wands, in all your glory, and they decided they needed to knock you down. They needed to take what you had, drain your energy, make you small, so they could feel big. But here's what's important about the Queen of Wands. She doesn't stay down. She doesn't let anyone steal her fire for long. You might have been hurt, you might have been shocked by the betrayal, but that core of who you are, that essential flame, it never went out. They tried to extinguish it, and they failed. Now I'm pulling the Empress card, and this is showing me something really specific about what they attacked. The Empress represents fertility, abundance, nurturing, the home environment, physical health, and creative power. When I see this card in the context of your situation, I'm understanding that these people didn't just attack you emotionally or spiritually, they went after the very foundations of your life. The Empress is Mother Nature herself. She's growth and life force. And when someone sends negative energy or curses or Santa Muerte workings towards you, they're trying to reverse that natural flow. They're trying to make what should bloom wither. They're trying to make what should be abundant become barren. Some of you Pisces might have actually gotten physically sick during or after their presence in your home. Mysterious illnesses, chronic fatigue, sudden health problems that doctors couldn't quite explain. That's because it wasn't just physical, it was spiritual attack manifesting in the body. The Empress also rules the home, so I'm seeing that they might have done something in your actual space, left something, placed something, performed some kind of ritual, or working right under your nose. Maybe they asked to use your bathroom and did something in there. Maybe they touched your personal items. Maybe they brought you a gift that was actually cursed. The level of premeditation here is disturbing, but I need you to understand it so you can protect yourself going forward. These weren't random attacks. These were calculated moves by people who knew exactly what they were doing. But here's the thing about the Empress energy. She always regenerates. Nature always comes back. Spring always follows winter. Your health is returning, your home is being cleansed, and the abundance they tried to steal is flowing back to you multiplied. The Empress cannot be defeated by darkness because she is the source of life itself. Let me pull the next card, and I am getting the Nine of Pentacles, which is absolutely fascinating in this context. The Nine of Pentacles shows a woman standing alone in a beautiful garden, surrounded by grapevines heavy with fruit, wearing luxurious robes with a hooded falcon on her hand. This card represents self-sufficiency, independence, the rewards of hard work, and the ability to enjoy the fruits of your labor in peace. What I'm seeing here is that before this attack happened, you had reached a point of stability that you had worked really hard for. Maybe you had just gotten your finances in order, or you had finally created a home that felt like yours, or you had achieved some level of success in your career or creative endeavors. You were in your Nine of Pentacles energy, enjoying what you had built, not bothering anyone, just living your life and appreciating the peace you had created. And that's exactly what made them jealous. The Nine of Pentacles often shows up when someone has something that others envy. You weren't even bragging about it. You weren't rubbing it in anyone's face. You were just existing in your own abundance. But to people with a scarcity mindset, even that is too much. They looked at your Nine of Pentacles life and they felt lack in their own. And instead of doing the work to build their own garden, they decided to try and destroy yours. The falcon in this card is really significant too, because falcons are birds of prey, they're hunters, they see everything. I think on some level you knew something was off about these people. Your intuition was sending you signals, little warnings that you might have brushed off because you wanted to see the best in them, because you Pisces naturally give people the benefit of the doubt. But that falcon part of you, that sharp-eyed observer, saw the truth even if you weren't ready to accept it yet. The Seven of Swords is coming through now, and this card is literally about theft, deception, sneaking around, betrayal, and hidden agendas. In traditional tarot imagery, the Seven of Swords shows a person tiptoeing away from a military camp with 5 swords in their arms, leaving 2 behind, looking over their shoulder to make sure they're not being caught. This is the energy of what these people did to you. They came into your home with smiles on their faces and daggers hidden behind their backs. They acted like friends, like family, like people who cared about you, all while plotting how to take from you, how to harm you, how to diminish you. The Seven of Swords is the card of the con artist, the liar, the person who operates in shadows because they know what they're doing is wrong. They stole your energy, they stole your peace, they might have even stolen physical items from your home. But here's the thing about the Seven of Swords. The person in the card can't take all the swords. They have to leave some behind because they're carrying too much, being too greedy, trying to take more than they can handle. That's what happened with these people. They overreached. They got so caught up in their scheming and their attack on you that they didn't realize they were setting themselves up for their own downfall. Every sword they tried to steal from you became a sword that would eventually pierce them. The Seven of Swords also tells me that not everything about their betrayal is visible yet. There are still things you're going to find out about what they did, things that will come to light in time. Secret conversations they had about you, things they said behind your back, ways they undermined you that you weren't even aware of. But all of it is going to be revealed eventually because deception can't stay hidden forever. Now I'm pulling death. And before anyone gets scared, let me explain what this really means in your reading. The Death card is about transformation, endings that lead to new beginnings, the natural cycle of things that must fall away so something better can emerge. In your situation, this card is showing me 2 things. First, it's showing me what happened to them after they left your home. The moment they walked out your door, after doing whatever dark work they did, after betraying you, after attacking your health and your space, the Death card activated in their lives. Everything started dying. Relationships died, opportunities died, their health started declining, their finances collapsed, their reputation crumbled. The Death card came for everything they had because they tried to bring death to you. It's cosmic justice in its purest form. They sent you the energy of death and destruction, literally invoking Santa Muerte, which is Lady Death herself. And what they didn't understand is that when you call on those energies, when you direct them at someone else, you have to be absolutely certain of your own spiritual protection and your own karmic cleanliness. These people were not. They had dirty hands, dark hearts, and unresolved karma of their own. So when they tried to send death your way, it circled back and landed on them instead. The second thing the death card is showing me is your own transformation. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, there was a period where you felt like you were dying inside, where your health was compromised, where everything felt dark and heavy. But you're going through a death and rebirth process that's making you stronger, wiser, more protected than you've ever been. You're shedding old skin, old patterns of being too trusting, too open with your space and your energy. You're learning spiritual warfare and protection in ways you never needed to before. The old version of you that would let just anyone into your home is dying, and the version of you that rises from these ashes is going to be untouchable. Let me pull the Four of Wands because there's something here about celebration and home that needs to be addressed. The Four of Wands traditionally shows four wands standing upright with a garland draped between them, people celebrating underneath, often at a home or a wedding or some kind of gathering. This card represents domestic harmony, celebrations in the home, feeling safe and secure in your space, having people over and creating happy memories. What I'm seeing is that there was probably some kind of gathering or event at your home where these people were present. Maybe it was a birthday, a holiday, a housewarming, or just a casual get-together. The Four of Wands energy was there. You were trying to create community and joy. You opened your home with good intentions, and they violated that. They came into your sacred space during a time of celebration, and they brought darkness with them. They smiled and laughed and ate your food, and then they went into a room alone, or whispered their curses, or left their negative items hidden somewhere. The violation of Four of Wands energy is particularly insidious because this card is about trust within the home, about feeling safe with your chosen family, about the joy of hospitality. They destroyed that feeling for you. They made your home feel unsafe, contaminated, heavy with bad energy. But here's what the Four of Wands promises. You will reclaim that energy. You will cleanse your space completely. You will celebrate in your home again with people who genuinely love you and would never dream of harming you. The Four of Wands will be restored in your life, but this time it will be protected, warded, and only accessible to people with pure intentions. The Seven of Cups is showing up now, and this card is wild because it represents illusions, fantasies, confusion, being deceived by appearances, and making choices when you can't see clearly. In the Seven of Cups, a figure stands before seven cups each containing a different vision, some beautiful and tempting, some dark and dangerous, but all of them are illusions. This card tells me that these people showed you a false version of themselves. They presented you with an illusion of who they were, friendship that wasn't real friendship, love that wasn't real love, loyalty that was actually betrayal in disguise. You were dealing with the Seven of Cups in human form, people who were masters of deception and illusion. They knew how to mirror back to you what you wanted to see. They studied you, learned your vulnerabilities, figured out what would make you trust them, and then they crafted a persona specifically designed to get close to you. The Seven of Cups also shows me that they might have used actual substances or methods to cloud your judgment. Maybe there was alcohol involved in these gatherings, or they gave you something that made you feel off, or they worked with herbs or powders that create confusion and mental fog. Some Santa Muerte practices involve exactly this kind of thing, using natural elements to create chaos in someone's mind and perceptions. But the Seven of Cups is also appearing as a warning for the future. Now that you know people can present false versions of themselves, now that you've seen how convincing illusions can be, you're going to be much more discerning. You're going to trust your intuition when it tells you something is off, even if everything looks fine on the surface. You're going to see through the cups of illusion and recognize what's real versus what's just a pretty mirage designed to manipulate you. I'm pulling the Two of Swords next, and the timing of this card is everything. The Two of Swords shows a blindfolded woman sitting with her back to water, holding two swords crossed over her chest, unable to make a decision or see clearly. This card represents being stuck, having to choose between two difficult options, willful denial, and the moment before truth is revealed. I think there was a period where you were in Two of Swords energy about these people. You had information, you had feelings, you had intuitive hits that something wasn't right, but you didn't want to see it. You kept yourself blindfolded because the truth was too painful. too disappointing, too scary. Maybe you walked in on something suspicious and they explained it away and you chose to believe the explanation even though part of you knew it was a lie. Maybe other people tried to warn you about them and you defended them, stayed loyal to them, gave them the benefit of the doubt. The Two of Swords is that uncomfortable space of knowing and not knowing at the same time, of having to decide whether to remove the blindfold and face reality or keep it on and stay in the illusion a little longer. Eventually, though, the Two of Swords can't be maintained. Eventually, the swords get too heavy to hold, the blindfold has to come off, and the truth crashes in like the waves behind the woman in the card. That moment of revelation was probably devastating for you, when you finally saw clearly what these people really were, what they had really done. But as painful as that moment was, it freed you. You can't fight an enemy you can't see. You can't protect yourself from a danger you refuse to acknowledge. The Two of Swords had to fall away so you could move into action, into protection, into reclaiming your power. The Hermit is appearing now, and I love this card for you because it represents withdrawal, inner reflection, seeking wisdom, spiritual guidance, and finding truth in solitude. After everything that happened, after the betrayal and the attack and the revelation of who these people really were, you needed to retreat. The Hermit shows an old wise man standing alone on a mountaintop, holding a lantern that contains a six-pointed star, lighting his own way through darkness. This has been your journey, Pisces. You've had to withdraw from certain people, from social situations, from the energy of community for a while so you could heal and figure things out. You've been in hermit mode, taking time alone, doing spiritual work on yourself, cleansing your space and your energy, learning about protection and spiritual warfare, seeking wisdom from sources that actually know what they're talking about. The Hermit is also the card of the spiritual teacher who has been through the darkness and emerged with knowledge to share. That's who you're becoming through this experience. You're gaining wisdom that you never wanted to have, knowledge about the depths of human darkness and spiritual attack that most people never have to learn. But this wisdom is precious, and it's going to help you going forward, not just in protecting yourself, but in potentially helping other Pisces or other water signs who go through similar situations. The Hermit's lantern illuminates the path, not just for himself, but for anyone else trying to climb the same mountain. Your experience, as painful as it's been, is turning you into someone who can guide others through similar darkness. The final card I'm pulling is the King of Pentacles, and this card is showing me the completion of your journey and where you're headed after all of this is resolved. The King of Pentacles sits on a throne decorated with bullheads and grapevines, surrounded by abundance, wearing robes of prosperity, holding a golden coin in his hand and a scepter of power in the other. He represents mastery of the material world, financial security, the ability to create lasting abundance, and wise stewardship of resources. This card is telling me that not only are you going to recover everything you lost during this attack, you're going to end up in a position of even greater stability and prosperity than before. The King of Pentacles is the ultimate manifester in the tarot, someone who understands how energy becomes matter, how thoughts and intentions shape physical reality. You're learning this mastery through your suffering. You're understanding that your home is a temple, your body is a temple, your energy is currency that must be guarded and invested wisely. The King of Pentacles doesn't just have abundance, he knows how to keep it, how to protect it, how to make it grow. You're developing that same wisdom. You're going to be someone who other people look at and wonder how you created such stability, such peace, such material comfort, and it's because you learned the hard way about boundaries, about protection, about not letting just anyone into your kingdom. The King of Pentacles also represents the karmic reward that's coming your way. While your attackers are losing everything, living out their death card nightmare, you're ascending to the throne of the King of Pentacles. The universe is compensating you for what you endured. Every bit of health they tried to steal is being returned to you doubled. Every bit of peace they tried to destroy is coming back to you multiplied. Every bit of abundance they envied and tried to block is flowing to you in ways you haven't even imagined yet. So let me bring all of this together for you, Pisces, because the story these cards are telling is one of both horror and hope, of betrayal and justice, of attack and ultimate victory. You were the Queen of Wands, living your life, building your abundance, represented by the Empress and the Nine of Pentacles. You had created something beautiful. You were healing. You were at peace in your own space, and that's when they came with their Seven of Swords energy, their deception and theft and hidden agendas. They presented you with illusions, the Seven of Cups, showing you false friendship while plotting harm. They violated your Four of Wands, your sacred domestic space, during what should have been celebrations and happy gatherings. They sent you death energy, literal Santa Muerte workings, trying to destroy your health, your home, your very life force. For a while, you were in the Two of Swords, not wanting to see the truth, staying blindfolded because the reality was too painful. But eventually the blindfold had to come off and you saw everything clearly. That's when you went into hermit mode, withdrawing to heal, to learn, to gain wisdom, to understand spiritual protection in ways you never had to before. And now, as you emerge from that mountain of solitude and reflection, the King of Pentacles awaits you. All the abundance, all the security, all the mastery you were building, before their attack is coming back to you multiplied. Meanwhile, they're living out their death card reality, losing everything they tried to take from you, destroyed by their own darkness, burned in their own fire. What they fundamentally misunderstood is how karma works, especially when you're dealing with someone like you, Pisces. You're not just any sign. You're the last sign of the zodiac, the oldest soul, the one who carries the wisdom of all the signs before you. You're ruled by Neptune, the planet of spirituality, intuition, and divine connection. When people attack someone with your level of spiritual sensitivity, the universe responds swiftly and decisively. You might have seemed like an easy target to them because you're gentle, because you're trusting, because you lead with love. But what they didn't realize is that your gentleness is not weakness, it's strength, it's confidence. It's the power of someone who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. And when that kind of person is attacked unjustly, cosmic forces align to restore balance. The Santa Muerte energy they tried to send you is particularly significant, and I want to address this directly because some of you might not be familiar with these practices. Santa Muerte, or Lady Death, is a folk saint in Mexican and Mexican-American culture who is often invoked for protection, but can also be called upon for darker purposes, like hexes, curses, and causing harm to enemies. She's not inherently evil, but she's a powerful, neutral force that responds to the intentions of the person calling on her. When someone uses Santa Muerte energy against another person, they're essentially asking death itself to intervene in that person's life, to take their health, their prosperity, their peace, sometimes even their actual life. It's serious magic, dark magic, and it requires payment. The thing about working with entities like Santa Muerte is that if you're using her energy for unjust purposes, if you're attacking someone who doesn't deserve it, if you're coming from a place of jealousy or hatred rather than righteous protection, she will eventually turn on you. These people who attacked you might have gotten some initial results, you might have felt sick, things might have gone wrong for a while, but because the attack was unwarranted, because you had done nothing to deserve it, the energy eventually reversed. Santa Muerte honors loyalty and she punishes betrayal, and by attacking you unjustly while pretending to be your friend, they committed the ultimate betrayal. So now they're dealing with the consequences of calling on powerful forces they couldn't control and didn't respect. Your home was violated, and that's one of the worst things that can happen to someone spiritually. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary, the one place in the world where you can let your guard down, where you can be vulnerable, where you can rest and recharge. It's protected by threshold magic, by the simple fact that it's your space with your energy woven into every corner. When someone crosses that threshold with ill intent, when they bring negative energy or perform rituals or leave cursed objects in your space, they're not just attacking you, they're attacking the concept of sanctuary itself. And that carries its own karmic consequences. There are spiritual laws that are even older than human civilization, laws about sacred space, about hospitality, about the violation of trust. They broke all of those laws when they came into your home with darkness in their hearts. Ancient spiritual traditions across cultures all have similar beliefs about this. That harm done within someone's home, especially by someone invited in as a guest, is one of the gravest sins and brings the severest consequences. That's why their downfall was so swift and so total. They didn't just attack you, they violated cosmic law. I want to talk about the health aspect of this because that's really important. When someone sends you negative spiritual energy, especially something as heavy as Santa Muerte energy, it often manifests in the physical body first. You might have experienced sudden exhaustion that no amount of sleep could fix. You might have had mysterious aches and pains, especially in your back, your joints, or your head. You might have felt a heaviness in your chest, difficulty breathing, or heart palpitations. Some of you might have had digestive issues, nausea, or loss of appetite. These are all classic signs of spiritual attack affecting the physical body. Your health is your most precious resource, and they knew that, so they targeted it specifically. But here's what I need you to understand. You're recovering. Every day that passes, you're getting stronger. The Empress and the King of Pentacles in your reading promise complete restoration of your physical vitality. Your body is resilient, your spirit is powerful, and now that you're aware of what happened and you're taking steps to protect yourself, the healing can accelerate. Make sure you're cleansing your space regularly, using smoke from herbs like rosemary or sage, using salt in the corners of your rooms, keeping windows open to let fresh air and light in. Take baths with salt and protective herbs. Drink lots of water to flush out any residual negative energy. Get sunlight on your skin. Move your body gently to get energy flowing again. All of these physical actions support your spiritual recovery. Let's talk about what happened to them after they left your house, because this is where the justice of the universe becomes visible, and it's honestly breathtaking. The death card in their lives has been absolute and uncompromising. I'm seeing that within days or weeks of their attack on you, things started falling apart for them. Maybe someone they were in a relationship with suddenly left them or cheated on them. Maybe they lost their job or had a financial crisis. Maybe their own health started declining in ways that doctors couldn't explain. Maybe their car broke down, their phone got lost or stolen, their living situation became unstable. Maybe people started seeing them for who they really are and their reputation crumbled. Maybe they're dealing with legal issues or problems with authority. The specifics will vary depending on the individual, but the pattern is the same. Everything they tried to take from you, they lost in their own life. Every bit of harm they wished on you came back to them multiplied. That's how karma works, especially when spiritual forces are involved. They threw a curse and it boomeranged back with triple force. They dug a pit for you and they fell into it themselves. They sharpened swords to attack you and those swords turned inward. This isn't you being vindictive or wishing harm on them. This is simply the natural consequence of their actions, the universe restoring balance, cosmic justice operating according to laws that are older than humanity itself. Some of you might be feeling conflicted about their downfall because you're Pisces and you have a naturally compassionate heart. You might be thinking, even after everything they did to me, I don't want to see them suffer. And that speaks to your beautiful nature, your connection to universal love, your understanding that all beings are ultimately connected. But I want to reframe this for you. Their consequences are not about punishment, they're about learning. Every soul has a path, and sometimes that path includes hard lessons about the consequences of harming others. They needed to experience what they tried to inflict on you so they could understand the weight of their actions, so they could hopefully evolve and never do this to someone else. You don't have to wish them well, and you certainly don't have to forgive them or reconcile with them, but you also don't have to carry any guilt about their downfall. You didn't cause it, they caused it themselves through their choices and their actions. Your only responsibility is to yourself, to your healing, to your protection, to your continued growth and prosperity. Looking forward, Pisces, the energy is shifting dramatically in your favor. The King of Pentacles at the end of your reading is a promise of not just recovery, but elevation. You're going to reach levels of stability and abundance that you've never experienced before. Your home is going to become a true sanctuary again, but this time it will be protected by wisdom and boundaries. You're going to attract new people into your life who are genuine, who have pure intentions, who would never dream of harming you. You're going to develop discernment that allows you to see through illusions immediately. You're going to trust your intuition without second guessing it. You're going to create prosperity that no one can touch because it's built on a foundation of spiritual awareness and divine alignment. The universe is compensating you for what you endured, giving you gifts and opportunities and blessings that will more than make up for the darkness you walk through. I also want to mention that some of you might hear from these people again. They might try to come back into your life with apologies or sob stories about how everything went wrong for them. They might try to blame their circumstances on bad luck without acknowledging what they did to you. They might even try to ask you for help or for access to your space again. The Two of Swords energy appears here as a choice. Will you let them back in? And I need to be very clear with you. The answer should be an absolute and unequivocal no. These people showed you who they are. They violated your trust, your health, your home, your very sense of safety. There is no coming back from that. This isn't about holding grudges. It's about honoring the wisdom you've gained through this experience. The King of Pentacles is a wise ruler who protects his kingdom, and your kingdom is your life, your space, your energy, your peace. You don't owe anyone access to those things, especially not people who have proven they'll abuse that access. If they reach out, you can ignore them. You can block them. You can give a simple no without explanation. You don't owe them closure or conversation or a chance to defend themselves. They made their choices and now they live with the consequences. For those of you who are still in the healing phase, who are still feeling the effects of the attack on your health and your home, I want to offer some very practical guidance. First, you need to do a deep cleanse of your space. This isn't just cleaning in the physical sense, though that's part of it. You need to spiritually cleanse every room where these people spent time. Get some sea salt or Himalayan salt and put it in bowls in the corners of those rooms for at least 24 hours, then dispose of it outside your home. Burn protective herbs like rosemary, frankincense, or Palo Santo, walking through every room and letting the smoke reach every corner, every closet, every hidden space. If you have items that these people gave you, get them out of your house immediately. Don't just throw them away inside your home, take them directly outside and dispose of them completely. If these people touched certain items in your home like furniture or decorations, cleanse those items with salt water or smoke. Open all your windows and let sunlight and fresh air flood your space. Play uplifting music, laugh, dance. Fill your home with positive energy to displace the negative. You might also want to consider getting some protective plants like aloe vera, rosemary, or basil, which are known to ward off negative energy. Place them near entrances to your home. For your personal energy and health, you need to do similar cleansing work on yourself. Take spiritual baths regularly, adding salt, protective herbs, and even a bit of ammonia if you're dealing with particularly heavy energy. Imagine all the negative energy that was sent your way dissolving in the water and going down the drain, far away from you, back to the earth where it can be transmuted. Wear protective crystals like black tourmaline, obsidian, or hematite. These stones are excellent for grounding and for repelling negative energy. Keep them in your pocket or wear them as jewelry. Make sure you're cleansing them regularly too, because they absorb energy and need to be cleared. You might also want to create a small protective altar in your home with items that feel sacred to you, images of spiritual guides or deities you feel connected to, candles, crystals, anything that makes you feel protected and connected to higher power. Spend time at this altar regularly, even if it's just a few minutes, setting intentions for protection and healing. Energetically, you need to strengthen your personal boundaries and your aura. Visualize a bubble of white or golden light surrounding you completely, from above your head to below your feet, extending several feet in all directions. This is your auric field, and it's your first line of defense against negative energy. See this bubble as impermeable, so strong that nothing negative can get through it, but flexible enough that positive energy and blessings can flow in easily. Practice this visualization daily, especially in the morning when you first wake up and in the evening before you sleep. You can also visualize this protective bubble around your home, seeing it as a force field that only allows people with good intentions to enter. These visualizations might seem simple, but they're incredibly powerful because energy follows intention, and where you place your focus, you direct energy. I also want to address something that might be happening for some of you, which is feeling guilty or wondering if you did something to deserve this attack. Let me be absolutely clear. You did not deserve this. No one deserves to be attacked in their own home, to have their health targeted, to be betrayed by people they trusted. This was not about you or anything you did wrong. This was about them, about their jealousy, their darkness, their own unhealed wounds and karmic debts. You were simply a target because you had light and they had darkness, and darkness always tries to consume light. But as you've seen through this experience, darkness cannot ultimately overcome light. It can create temporary shadows, but light always returns, and it's even brighter for having been challenged. Your light is still here, Pisces. It might have dimmed for a while, but it's coming back stronger, and soon it will be shining so bright that no darkness can even approach you because your very presence will dissolve it. There's something else I'm picking up on that I want to share with you. Some of you are being called to develop your spiritual gifts more intentionally as a result of this experience. You've always been intuitive, you've always been sensitive to energy, but maybe you didn't take it seriously or you didn't develop it as a skill. This attack forced you to wake up to the reality of the spiritual realm, to understand that there are forces and energies beyond the physical that have real effects on our lives. Now you're being called to become a student of these forces, to learn protection, to learn energy work, to develop your intuition into a reliable tool. Some of you might be drawn to learn tarot or other divination systems. Some might be called to study energy healing or become practitioners yourselves. Some might feel pulled toward learning about herbs, crystals, and natural magic. Whatever form it takes, honor that calling because it's part of your path forward. You went through this darkness so you could become a light for others, so you could help people who go through similar situations, so you could use your gifts to protect and heal rather than just passively experience whatever comes your way. The relationship between the Hermit and the King of Pentacles in your reading is particularly powerful because it shows the journey from withdrawal and inner work to mastery and material abundance. You needed the Hermit phase to process what happened, to gain wisdom, to develop new skills and understanding. But you're not meant to stay on that mountain forever. The King of Pentacles is calling you back down into the world, but as a changed person, as someone with authority and mastery, as someone who knows how to create and protect abundance. This is your emergence, your return to society and to material success, but you're returning with power and wisdom that you didn't have before. You're coming back as the ruler of your own kingdom, and no one gets access to that kingdom without proving they deserve to be there. As we come to the end of this reading, I want to leave you with some final thoughts and guidance. What happened to you was traumatic, and it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to still be processing it, to still be healing from it, to still have moments of anger or sadness or disbelief about it. Healing isn't linear, and spiritual recovery takes time. Be patient with yourself and honor wherever you are in the process. But also know that you are so much stronger than you realize. The fact that you survived this, that you're still here, that you're rebuilding and healing and learning, proves that you have incredible resilience and spiritual strength. They tried to break you and they failed. They tried to destroy you and you're still standing. That alone is a testament to your power and to the divine protection that surrounds you, even when you can't see it or feel it. I also want you to know that this experience, as painful as it was, has given you gifts that will serve you for the rest of your life. You now have discernment that most people never develop. You can sense bad intentions before they fully manifest. You understand energy and spiritual protection in ways that will keep you safe going forward. You've learned that your home is sacred and must be protected, that not everyone deserves access to your space or your energy, that your kindness is precious and should only be given to those who honor it. These lessons are invaluable, and they're going to change the trajectory of your entire life in positive ways, even though they came through such difficult circumstances. The King of Pentacles energy that's coming in for you is going to manifest in very tangible, practical ways. I'm seeing some of you receiving unexpected money, maybe from a settlement or a refund or an opportunity that just drops into your lap. Some of you are going to get job offers or promotions that significantly increase your income and your sense of security. Some of you are going to finally be able to move to a better living situation, a home that feels safer and more aligned with who you're becoming. Some of you are going to start businesses or creative projects that generate real income, turning your gifts and talents into sustainable prosperity. Whatever form it takes in your specific life, abundance is flowing towards you and nothing can stop it because it's karmic compensation. It's the universe balancing the scales. It's your reward for surviving what would have destroyed a weaker person. Your health is also going to make a complete recovery. And in fact, many of you are going to end up healthier than you were even before the attack. You're going to become more conscious about what you eat, how you move your body, how you manage stress, how you protect your energy. You're going to develop habits and practices that support your well-being on every level. You might discover healing modalities that work beautifully for you, whether that's yoga or meditation or a specific dietary approach or working with a talented energy healer or something else entirely. Your body has been through a war and it's going to emerge from that war stronger and more resilient, with an immune system that's been fortified by the challenge it faced. The Empress energy is regenerating you completely, and that includes your physical vessel. I'm also seeing that some of you are going to be guided to teachers or mentors who can help you develop your spiritual protection and your intuitive gifts. You might find a tarot reader or spiritual counselor who resonates with you deeply and helps you understand your experiences. You might discover books or online resources that explain exactly what happened to you and how to prevent it from happening again. You might meet other people who have been through similar attacks, and together you'll form a support system, sharing knowledge and helping each other heal. The universe is going to send you exactly what you need to complete your healing and to step fully into your power. Pay attention to synchronicities, to people who seem to appear at just the right moment, to resources that find their way to you when you need them most. That's spirit guiding you. That's your angels and guides working on your behalf. That's the divine orchestration that's always operating even when we can't see it. For those of you who are worried about whether these people might try to attack you again, whether they might send more negative energy your way, I want to address that directly. The Death card in their reading tells me they've lost their power. Whatever spiritual force they were working with has turned on them. They're too busy dealing with their own collapse to have the energy or focus to come after you again. But even if they tried, it wouldn't work because you're protected now in ways you weren't before. You're aware, you're vigilant, you've cleansed your space and strengthened your boundaries, and you have spiritual allies and protective forces surrounding you. Any negative energy they try to send now will bounce off your protection and return to them immediately. They can't touch you anymore. That chapter is closed and you're moving into a completely different energy, a completely different timeline where they simply don't have access to you on any level. Some of you might be wondering whether you should do any kind of spell work or ritual to bind these people or to send karma their way. My guidance on this is that you don't need to do anything because the universe has already handled it. The Death card is already operating in their lives, and anything you try to add to that would be overkill and might even create karmic entanglement that you don't want. The cleanest, most powerful thing you can do is simply focus on your own healing and your own elevation. Let them be a cautionary tale, let their downfall be a lesson to anyone else who might think about crossing you, but don't invest any more of your energy in them. They're not worth it. Every moment you spend thinking about them or plotting against them is energy you could be spending on building your King of Pentacles reality. Choose yourself, choose your future, choose your peace. That's the ultimate victory and the ultimate revenge if you want to think of it that way. Living so well and so abundantly that they become completely irrelevant to your story. I want to talk about forgiveness for a moment because I know some of you might be getting pressure from other people to forgive these attackers, to let it go, to be the bigger person. And I need to tell you something important about forgiveness in cases like this. Forgiveness is not something you owe anyone. It's not a requirement for your healing. And it's certainly not something you should rush into because other people think you should. Real forgiveness, if it ever comes, happens naturally as a byproduct of your healing, not as a forced act of will. What you need right now is not forgiveness, but boundaries, protection, and the space to process what happened to you. You need to honor your anger, your hurt, your sense of betrayal, because those feelings are valid and they're part of your healing process. Toxic positivity that tells you to just forgive and forget is not helpful, and it's not realistic. These people committed serious violations against you, and pretending that didn't happen, or forcing yourself to forgive before you're ready, would actually impede your healing, not help it. So give yourself permission to feel whatever you feel, to take as long as you need, and to prioritize your own well-being over anyone else's comfort with your emotions. The energy around home and sanctuary is going to be really important for you going forward. Your home needs to become your fortress, your temple, your place of absolute safety and peace. This means being very selective about who you allow to enter. It means trusting your instincts completely when someone asks to visit or when you're considering inviting someone over. If you feel even the slightest hesitation or weird energy about a person, honor that feeling and keep them out of your space. You don't need to explain yourself or justify your boundaries, your home, your rules, your energy, your decision. The Four of Wands energy will return to your life, but it will be with carefully chosen people who have proven over time that they're trustworthy, who have shown through their actions that they have pure intentions, who genuinely care about you and would never dream of harming you. Quality over quantity when it comes to the people you allow into your intimate spaces. I'm also picking up that some of you need to be careful about what information you share on social media or in public spaces. Part of how these people were able to target you so effectively was because they had information about you, about your life, about your routines, and your vulnerabilities. Moving forward, practice more privacy. You don't need to broadcast everything about your life to everyone who follows you online. Keep some things sacred, keep some things private, keep some things between you and the people you truly trust. This isn't about living in fear or being paranoid. It's about being strategic and protecting your energy. The King of Pentacles is wise about what he reveals and to whom he reveals it. He understands that information is power, and he's careful about where he places that power. There's something coming for you in the near future, something really beautiful and unexpected, and I'm seeing it connected to the creative or professional realm of your life. The Queen of Wands energy is returning, but she's evolved, she's wiser, she's more protected, and she's about to step into a level of recognition or success that she's never experienced before. Some of you are going to have a creative breakthrough, an idea or a project that's going to really take off and bring you both fulfillment and material reward. Some of you are going to be recognized for your talents in ways that open doors you didn't even know existed. Some of you are going to step into leadership roles where you get to use your gifts to help others while also being well compensated for your work. This is the King of Pentacles manifesting in your career and creative life, turning your passion and your skills into sustainable abundance. Whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been dreaming about, whatever talents you have that maybe you've been downplaying or not fully expressing, it's time to bring those forward because the universe is ready to support them and to reward you for sharing your gifts with the world. Your relationship with your own intuition is going to deepen significantly as a result of everything you've been through. The High Priestess energy is awakening in you, even though she didn't appear directly in this reading. She's the undercurrent running through everything. You're becoming more psychic, more aware, more attuned to subtle energies and hidden information. You might start having prophetic dreams or receiving intuitive downloads that give you information you couldn't have known through normal means. You might develop the ability to read people instantly, to know within seconds of meeting someone whether they're trustworthy or not. You might start sensing when something bad is about to happen and be able to avoid it. These gifts are your spiritual inheritance as a Pisces, and they've been activated by the trials you've faced. Don't doubt them, don't dismiss them, don't rationalize them away. Trust what you know, trust what you feel, trust what you sense, even when it doesn't make logical sense. Your intuition is your superpower, and it's going to keep you safe and guide you toward your highest good in all situations. I want to address something for those of you who might be feeling isolated or alone in the aftermath of this betrayal. You might feel like you can't trust anyone anymore, like everyone is potentially dangerous, like you need to just lock yourself away and never let anyone in again. That's a normal protective response to trauma, but I don't want you to stay in that space permanently. Yes, you need time alone to heal. The hermit energy is important and necessary, but you're not meant to live your whole life on that mountain. There are good people out there, genuinely good people with pure hearts who would never do what was done to you. There are people who will honor your trust, who will treat your home and your energy with respect, who will add to your life rather than take from it. They're out there and they're going to find you, especially as you raise your vibration through healing and step into your King of Pentacles energy. So as you become more aligned with abundance and wisdom and power, you're going to attract people who are also aligned with those energies. The universe is going to send you your soul tribe, your real family, the people who are meant to walk beside you on this journey. Don't close yourself off to that possibility because of what happened with these particular people. They were a lesson, they were a trial, they were a test that you passed, but they're not representative of all humanity. Better people are coming and you'll recognize them because everything will feel easy and light and genuine with them. No red flags, no weird energy, just pure positive connection. The Nine of Pentacles energy is going to return to your life, but it's going to be even more potent than before because now you know how to protect it. You're going to rebuild your beautiful garden, but this time it will have walls, it will have gates, it will have guardians. You'll still be able to enjoy your solitude and your independence and the fruits of your labor, but you'll do so with the wisdom of someone who understands that not everyone deserves access to paradise. The falcon on your hand in that card represents your sharpened instincts, your ability to see threats from far away and respond appropriately. You're becoming the guardian of your own peace, and that's one of the most powerful positions you can occupy in life. Let me tell you what the next few months are going to look like for you based on the energy I'm picking up. You're going to continue healing and getting stronger every single day. There's going to be a moment, maybe soon, or maybe a few weeks from now, when you suddenly realize that you feel good again, that the heaviness has lifted, that you're laughing more easily, that food tastes better, that colors seem brighter, that you're excited about life again. That's going to be your sign that the worst is over and you're fully on the upswing. After that, things are going to start clicking into place almost miraculously. Opportunities you've been waiting for are going to come through. Money you weren't expecting is going to arrive. People who can help you are going to appear at exactly the right time. You're going to feel like you're finally in flow with the universe again, like you're being supported and guided and blessed at every turn. That's the King of Pentacles energy fully activating in your life, and it's going to feel amazing after everything you've been through. There might also be a moment of reckoning where you find out just how badly things have gone for your attackers. You might hear through mutual acquaintances or see on social media or just know intuitively that they're really struggling, that the death card has devastated their lives. When that happens, you might feel a mix of emotions. Part of you might feel vindicated, like justice has been served. Part of you might feel sad because despite everything, you remember when you thought they were your friends. Part of you might feel concerned because your compassionate nature makes it hard to watch anyone suffer, even when they deserve it. All of those feelings are valid, and you should allow yourself to feel them without judgment. But what you should not do is reach out to them, try to help them, or let them back into your life in any capacity. Their suffering is their own karma, their own lesson, their own path. You cannot and should not try to save them from the consequences of their own actions. The most loving thing you can do, both for yourself and ultimately for them, is to maintain your boundaries and let them figure out their own way forward without your involvement. I want to leave you with a visualization that I'd like you to do regularly, especially on nights when you're feeling vulnerable or when you're worried about your safety or when you're having trouble sleeping because of everything that happened. Close your eyes and imagine yourself sitting on a throne made of solid gold and precious stones. You're wearing royal robes, and on your head is a crown that glows with divine light. In your right hand, you hold a scepter that represents your authority over your own life, and in your left hand, you hold a golden coin that represents infinite abundance. Around your throne is a circle of bright white light that extends in all directions, creating a barrier that nothing negative can penetrate. You feel completely safe, completely protected, completely powerful. You understand that you are the sovereign ruler of your own kingdom, and you get to decide who enters and who is banished. You make those decisions with wisdom and discernment, and you never doubt your own judgment. Feel how good it feels to sit on that throne, to wear that crown, to hold that power. Feel the safety and the security and the absolute certainty that you are protected by forces greater than yourself. This is not just imagination. This is truth. This is your spiritual reality. You are the King of Pentacles, the ruler of your own kingdom, and no one can take that from you ever again. Everything you've been through has been preparing you for something bigger, something better, something more aligned with your true purpose and your highest good. You wouldn't have been tested this intensely if you weren't meant for something significant. The universe doesn't waste time breaking down people who are meant to stay small and comfortable. It reserves its most difficult trials for the souls who are meant to rise to positions of influence and power, who are meant to help others, who are meant to be teachers and healers and way showers. That's your destiny, Pisces. This attack was meant to destroy you, but instead, it's forging you into something unbreakable. You're being tempered like steel in fire. And when you emerge from this furnace, you're going to be stronger and more valuable than you ever were before. The people who hurt you are going to become irrelevant to your story. Right now, they might feel like the main characters in your narrative, like the villains who changed everything. But in time, they're going to fade into the background. They're going to become just a footnote, just a chapter you had to get through to reach the good part. The real story of your life is just beginning, and it's going to be so beautiful, so abundant, so full of love and success and joy that when you look back on this dark period, you'll barely recognize the person you were then. You're evolving into your highest self, and nothing and no one can stop that process because it's divinely ordained. It's written in the stars, it's encoded in your soul contract, it's the reason you chose to incarnate as a Pisces in this particular lifetime. You're here to learn about spiritual warfare and protection so you can teach others. You're here to experience betrayal so you can develop discernment. You're here to have your health attacked so you can learn about energy and the mind-body-spirit connection. Every single thing that happened to you, as horrible as it was, is serving your evolution and your ultimate purpose. So hold on, Pisces. Keep doing the work of healing and protecting yourself and building your new life. Keep cleansing your space and strengthening your boundaries and trusting your intuition. Keep moving forward even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you wonder if things will ever get better. They will get better. They already are getting better. The worst is behind you, and the best is ahead of you. The King of Pentacles is waiting for you at the end of this journey, and he represents everything you've ever wanted: security and abundance and wisdom and power and peace. That's your future. That's what you're walking toward, and nothing that happened in the past can take that away from you because it's already yours, already decided, already done in the spiritual realm. Now it's just a matter of time before it manifests in the physical and you get to experience it fully. Thank you for letting me read for you today. Thank you for trusting me with your story and your energy. I'm sending you so much love and protection and healing energy. You are stronger than you know, braver than you believe, and more protected than you realize. The universe has your back, and your ancestors and guides are working overtime on your behalf. Everything is going to work out better than you can currently imagine. Keep your head up, keep your heart open to good things, and keep moving forward. Your victory is guaranteed, and your attacker's defeat is already complete. Justice has been served, and now it's time for you to collect your rewards and step fully into your power. You've got this, and I believe in you completely.